It's supposed to be deep winter here in Canada. We're supposed to be buried in snow. Last year, if I remember, I was like snow blowing like constantly to get to the studio or to get to the driveway or the vehicle or whatever. But now it's like 20 degrees C. I don't know, for you Americans, that's like room temperature here outside. And plants are growing, so it must be spring. And so what that means is studio cleaning time to clear out the studio for new designs and new products from Tribe. This is a show about jewelry, why we wear it, why it matters, how it's made, and what it means. I'm Alex D, and I turn cannabis into gold. I make mind-blowing jewelry in gold, silver, and platinum from cannabis plants here in Canada for stage, screen, for people who want to rock crazy jewelry. I'm the Cannabis Goldsmith. I think of a studio like a blank sheet of paper. It's just like a lump of clay or whatever. And after you've been working with it for a while, the blank sheet of paper gets filled up with all kinds of scribbles and different colors and lots of stuff that didn't work that gets crossed out, other stuff that worked nicely that looks great on the paper. But eventually it all gets all too busy and too cluttered, and you have to start afresh with a new sheet of paper or a new lump of clay. So that's how I think about cleaning. Cleaning's a wrong, probably not the right word to describe a rejuvenation of the studio, let's call it. A clearing of the space. When you go in and you put stuff away, I try to do that. I'm hopeless at that. I'm not. That's not how I work. I tend to leave stuff in different places, and then have to put it away after, and sometimes never do. And so stuff piles up in different places, but I still know where everything is. So don't criticize me ever about it. But the whole thing is to recalibrate, to get back to the blank page, the blank slate, the lump of clay that is untouched by human hands, except to take it out of the plastic bag and then flump it onto the table or wherever you're going to deal with it. So for me, I reached the point in my studio where I've worked on so many different designs on top of each other and side by side, and some incorporating, one design incorporating another. And my workspaces get cluttered. The shooting space where we used to shoot photographs of the products and video and stuff, it's that gets cluttered. So eventually I have to stop and re-clear everything, put everything away, clear it out, and then designs appear on that blank sheet of paper. Clearing out your studio and putting shit away. I know you don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. But that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to open up my space for new ideas. But here's the thing. I already have the ideas. And for this year, the product ideas, we've got some amazing products coming this year at Tribe based on the cannabis plant. And then some products not based on the cannabis plant too. So based around electronic dance music or DJ culture, some products around that, that's deeply important to me as a human being. So I'm going to do some products around that too. But in the cannabis, in the realm of luxury cannabis jewelry, I have some ideas that are just fabulous. But in order to even start on them, I have to clear up the studio. So that's what I'm going to do today. And it's daunting what I have to do. Here I'm going to use this podcast to convince myself to do it. But what I have to do is I have to completely, after the cleaning episode, see, I'm telling you this now because next week you're going to ask me, did you clean the studio? And I will say, yes, I did. and I did last week, and I'm already working on new designs. So this is why I'm telling you this today. But after it's all kind of cleaned, the first cleaning and put away in a quick vacuum to make sure the dust is down and everything is, all the little metal pieces and crap is taken up and cleaned out, then I have to rebuild the lighting. I'm going to rebuild the lighting in the studio space, because I'm going to be photographing, I'm going to be shooting videos for YouTube. We're starting a YouTube channel, so I'm going to be producing more video for that purpose. Maybe a little bit for Instagram, but I'm going to concentrate on doing audio for our marketing in this podcast, and also little bits of video coming to the YouTube channel, the Cannabis Goldsmith YouTube channel. The video version of this eventually it'll be. But in the meantime, I got to configure the video setup to shoot the products that we're doing, and also shoot the process of making the products. So I want to set cameras up above one of the benches so that I can video record me making products or polishing products or drawing them out on a piece of paper or whatever. And all these can be captured for history, but also to use for marketing materials. So if you're thinking about, if you're a jewelry designer and you're listening to this, or a jewelry maker, and you're wondering about video, right? It's hard to do. It defocuses you from the work, from the core work, as your core work as an artist in the area that you specialize in. This is the danger of it. This is why I waited a year to start a YouTube channel. I didn't want to do video. I don't want to do video. I just want to make products and make them the best possible products on the planet from the cannabis plant, cast in precious metals, and our specialty. That's what I want to focus on. I don't want to focus on videoing it and creating little videos for Instagram and YouTube and all this. But the thing is, we have to do this. And then it's kind of sad that we have to do this, because it doesn't add to the original art. It takes away from it, right? I mean, videos can be great. They can be fantastically produced and done, but all the time and money it takes to do that is taking the artist away from the actual art that is the focus of the video. So it's self-defeating, and social media platforms have caused it all. So I have very strong feelings about the platforms and how they suppress artists and individuals and favor the big boys, the big legacy players. They get the lubrication on the internet. They get the lubrication. The big legacy jewelry brands, they'll get the lubrication on the internet from the platforms, because they're buying big chunks of advertising. And the thing is, they have the same problem. They have the same problem that you and I do as smaller makers, as more focused, more luxury makers who are absolutely focused on quality. We have to communicate that with our audiences, to get them to appreciate what we're doing. Now, the big boys, the legacy granddad jewelry brands, they have that same problem. They want to convey what they mean to their market. But the problem is with them, their market is aging out. They're all these old people who wear the gold bracelets and stuff. They're all dying off, right? I don't know. The new people perhaps are buying these products, maybe, but the designs haven't changed really. There's no new or innovative design in any of these big granddaddy legacy jewelry brands. There's no product innovation. It's just they're trying to sell the old stuff to a new demographic, a new market. The old designs to a new demographic. They're not new designs. So they're faced with a similar problem to smaller makers. Now they have to somehow make their products look new and interesting. Jesus, I would hate to do that. They're fucked, basically. And this is why their advertising sucks so bad. And this is why they're draping stars with gems at these award shows, because they don't have any other idea of how to connect with new, younger markets, right? So they're hoping some old woman in Dubai will order one of these necklaces when she sees it on on some movie star on the red carpet at the Golden Globe Awards. But no, that's a really hard way to market. I mean, I've been reviewing these award shows, and I'm looking at them and I'm wondering, why are the brands even there? Why are they even there? Of course, they're there as like they call the people who get paid to wear their products ambassadors, right? There are ambassadors of our products, but really they're just getting paid to wear the products, And it's a contract, it's a job. It has nothing to do with design and nothing to do with innovation in art or design. It's a commerce. It's a contract. So that's what I've noticed after reviewing these award shows for so long. And what brought it to my attention was I watched the BAFTAs. And the BAFTAs are the British awards. And one thing I noticed is the big jewelry brands didn't sponsor any of it. Maybe one person at the BAFTAs was wearing something, one or two people, jewelry pieces that were obviously contracted to be worn. But the rest of it, for example, there were no man brooches, or very few. I didn't see any. So there were none. Now, why didn't the men bring their own? Like, why won't they wear their own jewelry, right? Like, this is what I was wondering. I was looking at it and I was thinking, okay, now this is what happens when the big jewelry brands pull out of sponsorship of an award show. There's zero jewelry in the award show. There's none. So what we're left with is fashion designers designing the clothes. So that's what people ended up talking about at the BAFTAs. Oh, so-and-so wore this kind of clothing or outfit or dress or jacket or whatever. It's less sparkly for sure, but why don't they wear their own jewelry? So a piece that's meaningful to them. Jesus. So it occurs to me that this whole award show jewelry thing is like, if the big brands pulled out, there wouldn't be any jewelry on these shows. There wouldn't be any, right? And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's what has to happen. Because frankly, what I'm seeing on these award shows is boring. It looks like it's been pulled out of the safe. Like a lot of the pieces, the man brooches in particular, are vintage. They're pieces that come out of that have been made long ago, that get pulled out, and then the star gets paid to wear it in the photograph. Bam, and there that gets the publicists for the big brand. They calculate all the times it was shown on the internet, and they say, oh, this got 40 billion impressions on the internet. This one photo of Jay-Z wearing the man brooch. That's like 40 trillion impressions. But what does that even mean? Like, who's going to buy that man brooch? Like, who? The old woman in Dubai? Is she going to buy that man brooch? Like, some guy in China who owns the sock factory? Like, is he going to buy that man brooch? Maybe that's their customer. But for young, interesting designs, this is not the place to look, right? These award shows are not the place to look. These are, if they're paying the largest stars in the world to wear these products, these must be their best products. That's what I'm thinking. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, oh my goodness. These brands are just fucked, basically. They They have no new designs. They're relying on the past to sell to younger consumers who can't afford this shit. Maybe they're inspired by it, but I don't think so. I don't see it. What I see amongst youth now and young people in the jewelry and in the fashion sense too is a quest for authenticity. Not expense, but authenticity. A quest for realness. That's all they want. That's all the young people want is realness and authenticity. But that's all anyone wants, really. So throwing up fictitious images of stars being paid to wear expensive jewelry is like, what is it? What is it really? I don't understand. Anyway, I think most people now are kind of have had enough of it. And with award shows in particular, the ratings are going down and down and down and down. And now that Hollywood is essentially finished, Hollywood is done. It's done. It's completely over. All these streaming services are now in the director's chair, directing anything relating to movie production, or that's where all the money is, right? So there's no star system anymore that a young actor is trained to become a movie star in a star system created by Hollywood film studios and publicists and marketing companies. That whole house of cards is just falling apart. So I think we're going to see award shows change in the future. There's probably going to be less jewelry on them. I don't think it's doing anything for the big granddaddy jewelry brands to have their big diamond necklaces on these shows. I don't know if it's doing anything for them. And if I were them, I'm not, but if I were, I'd be looking for innovative ways to market and new designers and different ways to cut through, because frankly, they're being left out in. It's like opening a history book, basically, when you look at some of the pieces they're showing at these award shows. Anyway, I went off on this huge 12-minute rant about big legacy jewelry brands and their marketing, and to avoid talking about cleaning the studio out, which I was talking about before, getting that nice, clear, blank slate to work from so that we can start assembling new products. I'm going to give you a couple of ideas of what we're working on this year. Now, and also a request, if any of you are listening in Canada, I'm looking for a 3D designer. He can be based anywhere in Canada, but you need to know what you're doing. And you need to be responsive too. It's like if we send you some design ideas, we need you to be able to do them and create digital files. We don't use digital files very much here at Tribe. Rarely. Most of the stuff we make, 99% of it is all done by hand in the old school manner with carving waxes and carving resins and stuff. We really don't produce 3D printed jewelry. But sometimes in jewelry manufacturing, you need a little component for, say, a ring or a bracelet closure or something that could only be done with a 3D printing, a 3D printed element, that's included in a larger piece. So if you're a Canadian 3D dude who's used to working with jewelry design programs, then send me an email and let's talk, because we could probably use a couple of good 3D people anywhere in Canada. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. What I want to do this year is I'm working on incorporating gold components into a silver belt buckle. So a big, like cowboys would wear, those big belt buckles, those big flashy belt buckles, but not that flashy, a little bit less flashy, a little bit smaller. The big cowboy ones are freaking huge. They're gigantic. They don't really work with a suit unless you're in Texas. So I want something smaller that would be able to work with a set of dress pants for a dude, or you could wear it with a suit. I want it to look classy. So it'll be a trophy buckle, but a bit smaller and smaller enough to wear with an excellent suit or an excellent pair of pants. So this will be a silver belt buckle with live cast cannabis leaf in the face. And then I'm going to get a 14 karat gold cannabis leaf and mount it into the face. So it'll be like a base background of sterling silver with a 14 karat gold cannabis leaf set into it in the face. So it's a pretty complicated design because we're using live plants and stuff, but that is going to be an amazing belt buckle. I don't know, price-wise, it depends on how big the gold leaf is, but it'll be probably in the $1,500 US to $2,000 US range. But it'll be like a piece of jewelry that you can wear, made from live cannabis leaves cast in precious metals. A very cool piece. Now, I've been working on the turntable weights for months now to refine them and to iterate them, to get them better. And I put a YouTube video up about the products, where we are with them right now. I was having such a hard time designing them here in the studio with the materials that we use, the wax and the wax and the resins, and carving them by hand. And I thought, maybe a nice 3D printed look would look good, but I don't like it. I'm gonna, I've decided where each one of these is going to be made individually by hand, and in a master model, and then cast from that. So each single piece, each one of these turntable weights is going to be unique. Now, to refresh your memory, what they're about, like they're a weight that fits on top of a vinyl record on a turntable. So when you put a vinyl record on a turntable platter and you put the needle on the record, and the drum beat goes like, you put the needle on the record and it spins. Now, if there's a slight warp in the record, the needle's going up and down on the record. And what a turntable weight does is fits on the spindle and presses the record down tighter on the turntable platter. Now, we've run experiments on this for a fucking year now, into different diameter weights, different materials the weights were made out of. We bought all the weights on the market currently available. We've tested them in the studio on our own turntables here. And we've looked at them critically to see where the design problems are. So now we work in precious metal, so I'm making these weights out of sterling silver, and we're making them by hand. And this is going to be a product available this year. And we're going to put a whole YouTube video out about it, what they mean and how they work and how they're made. And this is going to be an amazing product, destined for audiophiles or DJs who have home studios that are serious and significant. These are the DJs that play out around the world, that go to these different huge concerts and stuff. This is the market for these products. And audiophiles who will spend like thousands of dollars on a turntable, and then they're forced to spend $50 on a mass-produced aluminum platter weight, right? It just doesn't work. So this is going to be expensive, but super high quality handmade turntable platter weights by Tribe, solid sterling silver. We can personalize them with the DJ's name on them, with branding, like record label branding or whatever. We can do that. if the client requests it and we have the permission of the licensee to use the branding. Yeah, these are going to be just killer products. This is not for everybody. It's for DJs who have the money, of course, to buy them, but this is something that lasts forever. And the idea that they can be given to somebody or bequeathed or whether they're like, it's jewelry for turntables, basically. It's a whole new category of product that we've invented, and we're calling them turntable ingots because, of course, they're precious metal and they're made here in Canada by us, by Tribe. We're the Cannabis Goldsmith, the world's luxury cannabis jeweler, but also making some groovy products for DJs and aficionados of vinyl. Okay, what else is coming this year? A lot of this depends on the plants. I've got 4 plants now growing in the tent. They seem to be growing. I'm not going to talk too much about them in case another mouse comes by and if I can choose the tops off them like they did a couple of weeks ago. But they seem to be growing. And when these get to be full size in the summer in Canada, we're going to be pulling leaves off and making crazy pendants. If I can convince maybe Snoop to wear a crown made out of live cast cannabis leaves for a photograph, maybe this is something we could make. Like first off, nobody could make it but us, really, because we're the world's luxury cannabis jewelers and we work in precious metals and turn cannabis plants into gold. So, like, who else would make this? So, okay, I'm gonna be cold pitching Snoop to wear a crown made of live cast gold cannabis leaves this year. We'll see what happens. And then last year I pitched the Royal Canadian Mint a cannabis design, coin design, commemorative coin design. So we're waiting to hear back from that, but I think if the community gets loud enough, maybe they'll do it, right? And we've got a design for that too. It's a live cast cannabis leaf in the face of the commemorative coin. It would be a first in the world to take a live plant and directly convert it into silver or gold like that. It would just be an incredible first for the numismatists, the coin collectors. And it would be a cannabis-themed coin, I think, that would be their largest selling commemorative coin. So this is why I pitched them in December. I'm going to follow up on it again soon. And I'm reminding them in this podcast to take it seriously because this could make the Royal Canadian Mint a lot of money. And it could also be really great to see Canadian cannabis on the face of a coin circulated around the world. So that's another project we're working on. I'm working on some men's rings also with gemstones this year. I've got a few interesting Canadian gemstones. Like we're not talking super expensive gemstones, but very nice Canadian gemstones. We have a lot of gemstones. As I mentioned a few weeks ago, we have opals here in Canada, which I was shocked by. I'm going to try and get some opal, Canadian opal. I have amethyst from Thunder Bay. That is just like Thunder Bay, Ontario, which is north from me here on the river. And it's just beautiful. Like I've got triangular stones, like trilliants, they call this cut. They're triangle shaped. So I don't know why I bought them, but probably because they're Canadian. And that's why. And they're just beautiful. So I'm going to incorporate those into some rings. And then I'm also working on some women's bangles, gold and sterling silver bangles made out of live cast cannabis leaves on the face of the bangle. But this will be very delicate and light, but for us, delicate and light is still very heavy here at Tribe. They're lighter to wear, so this would be great for a woman to wear at an award show, for example, on her wrist. They're going to be very beautiful pieces, and available probably just in time for Christmas. So that's what the future is looking looking like here. That's what this year is looking like at Tribe so far. And once the studio's cleaned up. So today I'm going to go in there and suit up and put on some tunes on the 1200s. Let's play some vinyl today maybe. And then go in there and start moving shit around. The lighting is going to change a little bit. I've learned some things about how to photograph products. As we do it, we learn, right? So I'm learning stuff. So I'm going to move some lights around for an improved quality in the photography. And it should be great. A beautiful sunny day today. The sun is coming up over America. I can see over the river. You guys are looking really good. Spring is hitting you too, I think, by the looks of it. The Cannabis Goldsmith is produced by Tribe Communications, Inc. in the Thousand Islands area of Ontario, Canada. You can see what we do at tribe.ca. Send us an email, alexd@cannabisgoldsmith.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week on the Cannabis Goldsmith.